ang Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Maraming salamat sa ating kalihim ng Human Settlements and pakiupo lang. Ang ating kalihim ng Human Settlements and Urban Development, Jerry Acusar. Ang ating kalihim ng DOLE, Department of Labor and Employment, na nandito rin kasama natin, Secretary Benny Laguesma. Nandito rin po ang ating isa pang Cabinet Secretary, siya ang kalihim naman ng Department of Trade and Industry, Secretary Fred Pascual. Andito rin po at sinama ko na para dahil naka-recess ang House of Representatives, lumipat ka muna ron sa Ilocos para makita mo naman kung paano ang pagtrabaho dito sa Bulacan. At sinama ko, nandito kasama po natin ang aking anak, si Congressman Sandro Marcos. Ang ama ng lalawigan ng Bulacan, ang ating butihing Governor Dan Fernando. Binubulong ko sa kanya, sabi ko, yung mga isuran, huwag niyo pong binabanggit sa publiko, tayo na lang mag-usap dyan. Maayos na tapos ng eleksyon. Marami tayong gagawin. Ang ating punong bayan ng Pulilan, ang ating Mayor Maria Rosario Montejo. Habang maaga pa, Mayor, sasabihin ko na hindi ko masasabayan yung iyong balagtas at inyong pagtula. Lalaksan ko na lang yung boses ko sa pagtalumpati ko. Ang aking kasama ng mga kawani sa pamahalaan at yung mga other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Nagagalak po akong makasama lahat kayo dito sa Pulilan, Bulacan sa araw na ito. Isang mainit na pagbati sa inyo, dyan at sa inyong pamilya, mula sa akin at sa akin ding pamilya. Sana naman ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan dyan. Ang bati namin ay para sa pamilyang Pilipino, mula sa isang pamilyang Pilipino. Dahil ang mga pabahay ay kadalasan ay hindi naman talaga para sa isang tao lamang, kung hindi para sa isang pamilya. Na lalong-lalo na ng mga nagsisimula pa lang sa buhay at dahan-dahan ay pinapaganda ang kanilang sitwasyon sa buhay. Yan po ang binibigay na pagkakataon pagka meron tayong maganda, disente, ligtas at na tirahan para sa ating mga kababayan. Mahalaga ang araw na ito dahil sa pagkakataong makakaharap uli sa inyo na magpagpapasalamat sa inyong suporta para sa akin at para sa ating pamahalaan. Bukod pa rito, ating masasaksihan ang pagsisimula ng isang magandang pangarap para sa mamamayan ng iyong bayan dito sa Bulacan. Ito ay ang pambansang pabahay para sa Filipino Housing o 4PH project na pamahalaan. Sa pamamagitan ng 4PH, ang hangarin ninyong magkaroon ng maayos at sariling tahanan para sa inyo at sa inyong mga pamilya ay magiging abot kamay at abot kaya na rin. Bahagi po rito ang programa ng inyong pamahalaan na makapagtayo ng 1 milyong bahay bawat taon sa iba't ibang dako ng Pilipinas. Dito lamang sa Bulacan, ay nagsimula tayo sa isang araw na ito ay nakapagsimula tayo, nag-groundbreaking kami, nakapunta kami sa San Jose del Monte, tapos nanggaling kami sa San Rafael, ngayon nandito na kami sa Pulilan. Ngunit may 3 pa na bayan na nag-groundbreaking kagaya dito. Sila po ay naka-livestream at nanonood, kasama po natin silang lahat dito sa groundbreaking sa buong probinsya ng Bulacan. Nandiyan po ang mga tiga Pandi, Giginto, tiga Malolos. Kaninang umaga, yun na nga, nandun pa kami, San Jose del Monte kami nagsimula. Ganito kaseryoso ang administrasyon sa programang ito na pabahay para sa bansa. At hindi lang pabahay ang ating mithiin. Balang araw, magkakaroon din ng iba't ibang mga mahalagang pasilidad tulad ng serbisyong pang-edukasyon, pangkalusugan at iba pa. Hindi magtatagal, ang 4PH project na ito ay magiging isang tunay na pamayanan at isang kumpletos rekados na komunidad. Kung titignan nyo po yung mga plano doon po, hindi lang po pabahay ang itatayo. Ang pagka-partner ng Department of Human Settlements at saka ng local government ng Pulilo ay kasama po sa development na yan ang mga itatayo ng mga government offices, ng mga livelihood project, baka pagdating na ilang taon, baka maglagay pa tayo ng mga commercial na ano diyan para mixed use yung lupa. Ayan po, kaya dahil po ang aming pag-iisip na hindi kagaya ng dati na basta't magtayo lang ng bahay, pabahay na yan. Hindi maaari yun. Dahil kung maglagay ka ng bahay sa taas ng bundok, hindi naman makapunta sa trabaho. Wala namang pag-aaralan yung mga bata. O hindi ka makapagsimba sa linggo. Wala kang bibilhan ng pangangailangan ninyo. Kaya ang aming konsepto ay lagi namin sinasabi, buong community. Kaya human settlements, hindi lang housing, kundi human settlements. Ganyan din ang gagawin natin dito. At yan ang aming konsepto na sinasagawa sa lahat ng programa ng 4PH. Palagay ko, kailangan din nating aminin na sadyang mahirap ang layuning ito. Ngunit, sa ating pagtutulungan, tiwala po akong maaabot natin ito at doon uusbong ang pag-asa. Pag-asa para sa ating mga kapwa Pilipino, sa sipag at tiyaga ay makakamtan nila ang pangarap ng sariling tahanan para sa kanyang pamilya at sa kanyang mahal sa buhay. Hindi po magiging matagumpay ang pagtitipong ito kung wala ang ating mga masigasig na katuwang mula sa lokal na pamahalaan. Kayo po ang aming kabalikat sa paghatid ng serbisyo sa inyong mga kababayan. Mula sa tamang alokasyon ng lupa at pinansyal na tulong para sa ating maisakatuparan ang pabahay para sa mga nangangailangan at mahihirap. Hangad ko ang inyong patuloy na suporta upang mas marami po tayong matulungan dito sa inyong bayan. Hangad ko rin po ang patuloy niyong pakikipagtulungan sa mga key shelter agencies, sa pribadong sektor upang tuloy-tuloy po at agarang matapos ang proyektong ito. Sa ating mga kasama sa pamahalaan, lalo na sa DHSUD, mga key shelter agencies at financial institutions, lalo pa natin paigtingin ang ating pagtutulungan at serbisyo tungo sa layuning makapagbigay ng maayos at murang pabahay sa ating mga kababayan. Tiyak natin na makakaabot at mararamdaman ang serbisyo ng pamahalaan sa mga malalayo at liblib na pok sa lahat ng dako ng bansa. At sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Bulacan, hiling ko lamang ang inyong pakikiisa at pagmamahal sa inyong bayan at pamayanan. Patuloy na magsipag at magtiyaga sa inyong pagsusumikap. Sabay-sabay na aangat ang ating kalagayan, ang ating ekonomiya at ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino. Hindi rito nagtatapos ang paghahatid ng tulong ng inyong pamahalaan. Ang 4PH ay susulong pa at magtutungo sa marami pang mga lugar sa buong Pilipinas. Mula ko pong inaanyayahan ng lahat, mula sa panig ng pamahalaan, sa panig ng pribadong sektor, at ng ating mga mamamayan, magkaisa at magtulungan tayong lahat upang matupad ang ating sama-samang hangarin na mapaganda ang pamumuhay ng bawat Pilipino sa susunod na mga taon. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Magandang hapon po sa inyo. That we have for this new term, the Quezon City 2nd District Representative Ralph Wendell Tulfo, and Ilocos Norte 1st District Representative Ferdinand Alexander Marcos, who has chosen to join us on his way to work. And of course, our partner in all of these development projects, our good mayor, Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte, my fellow workers in government, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I am very happy to be here with you today as we once again gather to witness the fruits of our teamwork for a greater purpose. Today is indeed an important and I would say even a great day as we hold the groundbreaking ceremony for the first phase of the Batasan Development and Urban Renewal Plan, which is part of the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Filipino Housing or the 4PH program. What we are witnessing today is only the beginning of one of the largest projects under the government's flagship housing program. Slowly but surely, we will be able to achieve our greatest aspirations for the nation, including the dream for a decent and affordable housing for every Filipino family. Let us recognize the officials and personnel of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development for leading this flagship housing program. Let me also thank the local government led by our good mayor, Mayor Joy Belmonte, for the local government support to the DHSUD and the national government and for allocating land and financial resources for housing, a very critical service for all of us in government. Thanks to your commitment here in Quezon City and to our commitment to our collective vision, we will be able to build a better, more resilient, and more equitable communities through the development of sustainable human settlements. But how do we achieve sustainable human settlements? It's not only through building sturdy houses, but also ensuring that the residents of those houses have access to amenities such as schools, as markets, as hospitals, as well as economic opportunities, government services, and social activities. All of these considerations are part of the program moving forward, including the housing project under the Batasan Development and Urban Renewal Program. On this site, we built 2 high-rise buildings with more than 2,100 units for the Batoda members and their families, as well as for informal settler families in the cities. At nagpapasalamat tayo sa Batoda sa kanilang tulong dito sa itong proyekto na ito. Kaya naman, ang pinakamababang ground floor ng building na ito ay magiging tricycle terminal. Those living here in the surrounding areas will have complete access to markets, to schools, to hospitals, and various means of making income so they will prosper and get to see their goals and dreams come to life. Let me also take this opportunity to underscore that the housing plight, like any other social issue, can only be addressed through a whole of society, a whole of nation approach. I welcome them and encourage the DHSUD to continue their efforts in forging and strengthening partnerships with other government agencies and the private sector to secure requirements for housing production and funding. Be it the officials, personnel, developers, construction groups, and private banks, your honest work and prompt compliance with documentary and legal requirements are needed to commence the funding and construction of housing units as originally planned. The local government's role in particular is crucial in ensuring the success of all of these projects, especially in identifying suitable lands for housing, selecting the qualified beneficiaries, and securing sustainability and livability for our people for the future years to come. And just as a point of information, we would like to also announce that we are also doing a groundbreaking ceremony. Kagaya nito, meron din ngayon sa kasalukuyan doon sa Kawayan, sa Isabela. Kaya't hindi lamang dito sa NCR, kung hindi sa iba't ibang lugar sa buong bansa. Kaya't with all of these things said, we are still left with the fact that many of our beneficiaries will still not be able to afford the monthly amortization of these units. So, the government is committed to secure the needed housing interest support for 2023. I now call, kaya nandito, tiniyak namin, nandito si Speaker, dahil I now call on Congress for your support, including housing interest support, as part of the regular appropriations for the succeeding years. Bukod pa ron, pinag-aaralan namin ni Secretary Jerry Acusar ang pagtatayo ng subsidy fund para dito sa ating housing program. At siguro maglalagay tayo diyan, siguro pag nakahanap tayo ng pera, mga 1 billion siguro to start with, para meron tayong subsidy na maibibigay para sa ating mga magiging tenant. Time and again, in every undertaking, we are reminded of the commitment, the collaboration, and compassion that is needed to be able to truly prioritize the welfare and the interests of our people. I also remind everyone in the DHSUD, the LGUs, all stakeholders, that we must continue to demonstrate transparency and honesty in all our transactions, keeping in mind the need to ensure the timely completion of the housing projects. Let us also be reminded that more than the building of grand and massive structures, our goal is to secure the welfare and the best interests of the Filipino people. Let our countrymen and the future generations, therefore, be at the center of every government action. With a focused heart and the active collaboration of government, the private sector, and the people themselves, I'm confident that we will provide decent, affordable, and sustainable housing for our countrymen in the coming years. And in turn, every family will see that they are now uplifted, that they have better lives ahead, and be equipped to contribute to building a better, brighter, and more progressive Philippines in the years ahead. Maraming pong salamat sa inyong lahat at magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Thank you, Mr. President. We will now have a photo opportunity with the President. May we invite the Cabinet Secretaries and officials from the House of Representatives on stage. Batch 2, please stand by. Batch 2, Quezon City local government officials, please stand by. Please proceed on the left side of the stage. Thank you, Batch 1. Please exit to the left of the stage. Batch 2, we have our Quezon City local government officials. Batch 3, please stand by. Batoda officers. Batch 2, thank you. Batch 3, we have our Batoda officers. Batch 4, please stand by. Barangay Batasan Hills officials. Batch 5, please stand by. PCC East Side heads. PCC heads, please stand by. Thank you, Batch 3. Batoda officers. Batch 4, please proceed on stage. Barangay Batasan Hills officials. Batch 6, please stand by. DHSUD and KSA heads. Thank you, Batch 4. Now, Batch 5, PCC East Side heads. Please proceed on stage. Thank you, Batch 5. Now, Batch 6, we have DHSUD and KSA officials. Together with our government financial institutions. Thank you. Please exit to the left side of the stage. That concludes our program for today. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mga kababayan, let us give the President a warm round of applause. Once again, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Unahan po ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ang ceremonial turnover ng mahigit 1,000 bahay sa St. Gregory Homes sa Malabon City na bahagi po ng pambansang pabahay program ng administrasyon. Narito ang report ni Ryan Lesigas.
Muling ipinag-utos ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. sa National Housing Authority, Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development at iba pang ahensya ng pamahalaan na tutukan ang pagbibigay ng disente at maayos na proyektong pabahay. Sa Malabon City, mismong ang Pangulo ang nanguna sa ceremonial turnover ng 1,380 housing units. Bahagi ito ng pambansang pabahay para sa Filipino Housing Program ng Marcos Administration. Giit ng Pangulo, dapat matiyak na walang sinumang maiiwan at mapapabayaan sa isinusulong nitong kaunlaran sa pamamagitan ng pagkakaroon ng disenteng pabahay para sa mga Pilipino.
Sana po ay magsilbi ito na paalala at patunay na ang proyektong ito ay handang gumabay at tumulong sa inyong tungo sa pagunlad ng inyong pamumuhay. Para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, napakalapit po sa aking puso ang pagsisiguro na maging matagumpay ang mga human settlements at housing projects ng ating gobyerno.
Personal na ininspeksyon ng Pangulo ang ilang housing units sa St. Gregory Homes na in-city project ng NHA. Ang model unit ng St. Gregory Homes may isang bedroom, kitchen, dining area, toilet, laundry at living room. Nasa 24.5 meters ang sukat ng kada isang unit at dinisenyo para sa mga minimum wage earners, informal settlers at mga nakatira sa mga high-risk areas at danger zones na gustong magkaroon ng mura, ligtas at komportableng bahay. Nasa 23 gusali na may tig-5 palapag ang nakapaloob sa proyekto. Kabilang sa mga nakalipat dito na residente ay mula sa Barangay Bayan-Bayanan, Baritan, Dampalit at iba pa. Sa ngayon, 133 na mga units na ang naipamahagi sa mga benepisyaryo. Target ng Marcos administration na makapagpatayo ng 1 milyong pabahay kada taon. Kung susumahin, aabot sa 6 na milyong pabahay ang inaasahang may papatayo sa termino ng Pangulo.
Naniniwala po ako na kaya nating makamit ito kung ang lahat ay magtutulungan, magiging masunurin sa batas at paiiralin ang bayanihan spirit ng Pilipino. Ang mga housing program na ito ay naglalayong makapagpatayo ng disenteng pabahay para sa mga kababayan natin pinaka-nangangailangan. Ito po ay inisyatibo ng gobyerno upang tiyakin na ang bawat pamilyang Pilipino ay mayroong bahay na mauuwian at matatawag nilang sarili nilang tahanan.
Nauna na rin inihayag ng Pangulo na prioridad ng kanyang administrasyon na makapagbigay ng murang pabahay para sa mga Pilipino.
Naway mas marami pa tayong mapapatayong bahay at matutulungan na kapwa nating Pilipino.
Kasama ng Pangulo sina Malabon City Mayor Jeannie Sandoval, DSUD Secretary Jose Rizalino Acuzar at NHA General Manager Joe Bentay sa pagpapasinaya ng proyekto. Ryan Lisiges para sa Morning Show ng Bayan, Rise and Shine, Pilipinas.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said the government is considering building high-rise housing units to address the current backlog in the country and catch up with the rising need for decent shelter. During the nationwide turnover of 30,000 housing units to families, President Marcos Jr. has reiterated his intention to revive the Bagong Lipunan Improvement of Sites and Services or BLIS to house low-income Filipinos in urban areas. This as he cited the lack of available lands for house and lot projects, particularly in Metro Manila.
Ngunit ngayon, dahil mahirap na, siguro baka pataasin pa natin. Baka pwede na natin itaas hanggang high-rise na. Ngunit pinag-aaralan natin to siguro case to case ito.
The chief executive pointed out the government is finding a way to organize different entities such as the local government units, Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, National Housing Authority, and the national government to find a solution to the country's increasing need for more shelters. The president directed the NHA to continue fulfilling its mandate and ensure that families receiving new homes and are provided with means of livelihood.
Pero ang aming tinitignan, the travel time mula sa bahay hanggang sa trabaho ay hindi dapat lalampas ng 1 oras. Dapat may malapit na eskwelahan para sa mga bata. Dapat may malapit na palengke o maliit na mall na para makapagbili ng mga pangangailangan ng mga pamilya.
PBBM also asked for the cooperation of the LGU and the private sector to ensure the well-being of the beneficiaries in their new environment.
Ito'y hinihingi ko sa kooperasyon ng ating mga lokal na gobyerno at pribadong sektor. Naway maging panatag ang ating mga kababayan sa kanilang mga bagong bahay. Mahalagang mabigyan ang ating mga kababayan ng pangkabuhayan, tulong upang malubos nila ang paninirahan sa kanilang mga bagong tahanan.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said the government will exceed its annual target of 1 million housing units with the provision of at least 1.2 million housing units under the Pambansang Pabahay para sa Filipino Housing Program or 4PH. According to the President, around 1.2 million housing units have broken ground since the new administration started 10 months ago.
So kung maka-start tayo, what are we now? 10 months? 10 months, nag 1.2 million na si Secretary. Tignan natin, basta ipagpatuloy. Malaking kumpiyansa ko kasi nung nasa private sector siya, nagagawa niya talaga eh. Alam niyang gawin eh. So, I think we'll just wait for the actual structures to start coming up. Yan, puntahan din natin yung pagka nangyari na.
In a chance interview during one of the events, President Marcos said he is hoping to inspect soon housing units that have already been completed.
Kaya sinasabi, tinutukso ko kasi Secretary Jerry, sabi ko sa kanya, sa susunod naman, dalhin mo kami doon sa mga may naitayo na. Kasi baka sasabihin na panay ribbon cutting natin tapos wala nang nangyari.
PBBM is confident that his administration is on the right track in providing and offering affordable housing solutions to Filipinos. The 4PH aims to build 1 million housing units annually until 2028 to address the housing backlog. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Marcos leads the groundbreaking ceremony for the second phase of a housing project in Cavite. Our very own Victoria Tulad now joins us with more on that. Victoria, over to you.
Carmina, new housing units in Cavite were awarded to 360 families, with President Pres.Bongbong Marcos Jr. personally inspecting some of the units. Marcos led the awarding ceremony on Friday morning in Ciudad Kaunlaran Phase 1, Bacoor City, where 6 5-story buildings have been completed. 3 more buildings are set to be finished, with a number of beneficiaries totaling 540 families. These residents previously lived along the Manila Bay but were relocated after the Supreme Court came out with a writ of continuing mandamus in 2008, ordering the cleanup, rehabilitation, and preservation of the bay. Hence, illegal structures were dismantled and removed. Marcos also led the groundbreaking ceremony for Ciudad Kaunlaran Phase 2, where 2 buildings will be built for 120 families. The president congratulated the recipients of the projects and asked them to use the houses to provide for a better life for their loved ones. He said his attendance to important events such as this symbolized his promise to improve the lives of Filipinos through new houses. The president also committed that the government, particularly the National Housing Authority or NHA, will continue in its efforts to complete other housing projects. He cited as well the more than 7 million pesos that have been provided in the form of emergency housing assistance.
Ako sa pamahalaan, mga kababayan, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ang NHA sa buong bansa, hangarin po ng inyong pamahalaan na panatilihing may sapat na pondo upang mapunan ang pangangailangang pabahay ng nakakarami. Tuloy-tuloy po ang NHA sa pagbuo at pagtutupad ng programang pabahay para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Aside from Marcos, guests in the event included NHA General Manager Joe Bentay, Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development Secretary Jose Acuzar, Senators Bong Revilla, Cynthia Villar, Mark Villar, and Francis Tolentino, and local officials of Cavite.
The Philippine economy back on its feet after the COVID-19 pandemic. That declaration coming from President Marcos Jr. as he touted the country's economic growth during the annual Vent d'honneur at the Palace Thursday night. But he also called on members of the diplomatic corps to work together and explore collaboration amid geopolitical difficulties.
It is with confidence that I announce that the Philippines has, I could say, gotten back on its feet from the reeling effect of the pandemic and the subsequent shocks that we suffered from the Ukraine war and now from the conflict in the Middle East. We have since turned the corner and are now back in business, eager to do more with your respective governments and business sectors. Continue to strive in promoting our bilateral ties. We cannot simply brush aside important global developments that affect all of us. After all, we belong to one single community of nations. Amidst geopolitical difficulties, it is our earnest hope that countries will find sincere motivation to work together and tap the power of the collective in finding ways to solve political conflict to achieve peace and prosperity for all.
The Vendonneur is an annual reception hosted by the Philippine government to mark the new year. After months of speculation, Malacanang confirms House Deputy Speaker Ralph Recto will be the new Finance Secretary. Recto will take his oath today along with Presidential aide Frederick Go. Recto will be replacing Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno. Recto served briefly as Socio-Economic Secretary during the Arroyo administration. He is best known for authoring laws hiking the value-added tax from 10 to 12% and imposing taxes on Philippine offshore gaming operators. Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri welcomed Recto's appointment, calling him a numbers genius. House Ways and Means Panel Chairman Joey Salceda meanwhile said Recto's experience in economic legislation will help advance crucial reforms in the Marcos administration. Well, outgoing Finance Chief Benjamin Diokno welcomes Recto's appointment as his successor. Diokno expressed confidence in Recto's ability to lead the Finance Department and develop sound revenue and economic policies. Diokno adds he is proud, knowing the Philippine economy is in a better state as he leaves his post. Diokno took the finance portfolio back in July 2022. He led the Philippine economic team in crafting the country's first ever medium-term fiscal framework. Meanwhile, according to the Budget Department, Diokno will return to the Philippine Central Bank as a monetary board member. Well, market analysts believe the PSCI will hit the 7,500 level this year, despite economists forecasting Philippine economic growth below government's target range for 2024. Jackie Pascual reports.
The Philippine economy is expected to expand further this year amid external challenges. At the First Metro Investment Corporation briefing, economist Victor Abola says revenge spending is not yet over, following a slowdown last year due to inflation. He cites the improving employment rate, which stands at 96.4% in November 2023.
The main driver for spending, consumer spending, is really that people have the income. And if you ask the hotels and resorts outside, the tourist destination, it's very difficult to book.
He also expects inflation to further ease, leading to possible 1 to 2 monetary policy rate cuts this year.
First one, 25 basis points, likely in June. And depending on the Fed moves, it will probably mimic the Fed rate cuts in the second half of the year.
A reduction of 75 to 125 basis points across the curve. We see a softening of rates as inflationary pressure eases. We do not foresee a cut in BSP rates in the first half, but possibly 1 or 2 in the second half of the year.
The capital market is also seen to improve in 2024, following a volatile 2023, with one analyst seeing the Philippine Stock Exchange Index to hit the 7,500 level.
We expect issuers to revisit their fundraising plans and tap the capital markets in the second, third quarter of the year. We are confident that volumes, both on the debt and equity side, will easily surpass that of 2023.
They all forecast a 6% GDP growth this year, lower than government target of 6.5 to 7.5, but they say this is due to external factors like geopolitical issues. They note growth will be fueled by robust private consumption, increased infrastructure spending, strong labor market, and the recovery of domestic tourism. Jackie Pascual, ABS-CBN News.
Bagong Lipunan Improvement of Sites and Services o BLIS Housing Project. Ito ang proyektong bahagi ng Land for Landless program sa Metro Manila ni dating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Layo nitong mabigyan ng sariling lupain at tahanan ang mga maralitang tagalungsod. At noong panahon ng kampanya, ipinangako ni President Pres.Bongbong Marcos Jr. ang pagbuhay sa naturang proyekto. Ngunit sa pagkakataong ito, ipapatupad ito hindi lamang sa National Capital Region kundi sa buong bansa.
Pinag-usapan niya yung housing. Alam niyo po, dito nagsimula yung BLIS na housing development. Babalikan po natin yan dahil malaki talagang pagkukulang, hindi lamang dito sa Quezon City kundi sa buong Pilipinas ang pabahay. Siguro ang kulang na pabahay sa buong Pilipinas ay 6 million na.
Taong 1978 ay itinatag ni Marcos Sr. ang Ministry of Human Settlements na siyang ahensyang magpapatupad ng BLIS program. January 9, 1979 naman nang ilabas ang Executive Order 517 na nagtatalaga sa BLIS program bilang isang development strategy. Ito ay hindi lang simpleng pabahay kundi layo nitong i-develop ang isang lugar o komunidad para sa pag-unlad ng lahat ng mga nakatira dito. Kabilang sa mga ilalagay dito ang supply ng kuryente, tubig, maayos na transportasyon, edukasyon, kalusugan, palakasan at panlipunang libangan.
May bahay ka, itayo mo ang bahay, nakatira sila sa bukid. Paano sila mabubuhay doon miski may bahay sila? Ang palengke nasa baba, nasa iba-ibang lugar. Kaya naisip ko, pagka meron akong BLIS project, ng housing project, hindi lang housing, kung hindi lahat, kompleto. Meron doon palengke, simbahan, meron doon eskwela, meron doon factory, may pagkikitaan. Lahat ng pangangailangan nandiyan dyan na huwag nang papuntahin kung saan-saan.
Ang programang ito ay matagumpay na naisagawa sa ilalim ng pangangasiwa ni dating unang ginang Imelda Romualdez Marcos na nanguna sa Ministry of Human Settlements. Taong 1984, namahagi si dating Pangulong Marcos ng 25,000 titulo ng lupa sa mga benepisyaryo ng pabahay sa Balintawak, Quezon City. Pinasinayaan din ito ang New Teachers Bliss Condominium 2 na nakatayo hanggang ngayon at isa na ring maunlad na komunidad.
Hindi na kami gumagawa ng bahay lamang, kailangan human settlement, pang-tao talaga.
Batay sa pagtaya ng pamahalaan, aabot sa 6.5 million housing units ang kakulangan sa pabahay sa bansa sa pagtatapos ng taong 2020. At kung hindi agad masolusyonan ay lolobo pa ito sa 22 million units pagdating ng 2040. Bukod sa BLIS, isa rin sa nakikitang solusyon ng BBM Sara Tandem ay ang pagbuhay sa 7-day take-out policy ng Pag-ibig Fund para mabilis ang pagproseso ng mga low-cost housing loan application. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. Diyos ang aming sandigan, serbisyo publiko ang aming pinahahalagahan.
masarap na kayo ay makasama muli. Mga kasama ko na nagsuporta sa akin, na binigyan ako ng tulong. Kaya naman po, ay pinapaspas po namin lahat ito upang naman ay masuklian namin ang inyong pagmamahal at ang inyong suporta na ibinigay sa halalan na ngayon ay kami naman ang gagawa ng lahat upang yung aming pinag-usapan na pagkakaisa, yung ating pinag-usapan na tayo ibabangon muli ay magiging katotohanan kasama kayong lahat. Napakalapit po sa aking puso ang pagsisiguro na maging matagumpay ang mga human settlements at housing projects ng ating gobyerno. Kaya naman po ay hinamon ko ang aking sarili at ang aking mga kapwalingkod sa DHSUD, sa NHA, lalong-lalo na ang ating mga LGU na matugunan at ang mga pangangailangan na pabahay sa loob ng aking termino bilang Pangulo.
Nagpapasalamat po ako sa NHA po, sa mayor po namin at kay Mr. President po kasi binigyan niya po kami ng pagkakataon na magkaroon po ng sarili po naming bahay na matitirahan, na totoong talagang sa amin na po. Kasi po dati, squatter lang po kami. Yung bahay po namin, tapal-tapal lang po. Pagka bumaha po, umaangat po yung mga basura, yung mga anak po namin nalalaglag po sa ilog. Yun po yung pinapangamba namin. Ngayon po, ligtas na po kami dito sa tinitirahan po namin. Maraming pong salamat.
Iwas na rin po kami sa mga aksidente tulad ng mga sunog. Safety na po kami dyan sa pabahay.
Kahoy lang po kasi yung dati namin bahay. Tapos dikit-dikit lang, madali sa sunog, di ba po? Kaya yung mga anak namin mahuhulog, masusugatan, mapapakuan. Ngayon po kahit anong takbo nila, safe na.
Kasi hindi namin na-expect talaga na yung ganito magkakaroon kami nung matagal na namin pinapangarap na bahay talaga. Kasi nasa po kami, yung ilalim po kasi namin basura, tapos ilog, tapos puro...
bumaha po, grabe.
Kahoy lang, tapos mga yung tapal-tapal yung dingding. Mr. President, maraming salamat po sa inyo sa binigyan niyo po kami ng chance na magkaroon po ng maayos na tirahan tsaka maayos na buhay.